series of my series LLC. This can get a little complicated for title companies who aren't familiar with this. I do a lot of education of title companies, seriously, who don't know how to close a transaction in a series LLC. I'm always happy to have a conversation with your title company if they don't get it. Okay, because it closes in the name of the series, because this series has to own the house. That's how you separate out the liability. If the LLC owned it, then it's all commingled into one LLC. So you create this little sub-series thing, title house number 1 in it, title house number 2 in the second one, title house number 3 in the third one, you can go from there. So this, it's a little bit more of a complex LLC to run, but it saves you lots of legal fees, lots of bank accounts, and it's more efficient in other ways. So it's kind of a trade-off. It's a little more complex in some things, it's a little more efficient in others.
In the past, we've been told with Series LLC that you still needed separate bank accounts, separate books.
Probably by me. No, I'm not kidding, because that's exactly what I used to tell clients. Here's what I do with my clients in the separate bank accounts. The law itself, the statute says, each series maintains separate liability if, and then the sentence ends, and then there's a list of things that you have to do to get the separation. One of them is maintain separate accounting. We don't know what accounting means right now. Is it bookkeeping or is it bank accounts? For a long time, when these first came out, I said, let's get separate bank accounts. Let's err on the side of caution, right? Let's make sure we're really jumping through all the right hoops. What I do now is when we set this up, and these are sort of my corporate clients that are in my package that I'm their general counsel, we hold a meeting together. And in this meeting, we discuss, and I take notes, and we record this, that the company has discussed the use of separate accounts. The company has decided for efficiency purposes and cost savings that the LLC itself will maintain one bank account on behalf of the series. But the LLC will maintain separate bookkeeping. So in your QuickBooks or whatever you use for bookkeeping, every transaction, every rent deposit and every contractor expense gets tagged. Series 1, Series 2, or Series 3, so that at any time I can generate a report and say, what did Series 1 do? What was his income? What was his expenses? So on a bookkeeping standpoint, everything is separate. But the bank account is held kind of like an escrow account or like a property management account on behalf of the series. So that's what I do now. How a court will, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So, yes?
So what's the protection then? If one of those series...
Right, if this house, you have problems with these tenants, they're going to sue this series, these houses are protected.
So if they don't sue the holding company?
No, they're not going to sue, no. It's titled in the series. That's why you have to title it correctly, and I have those conversations with title companies. It's got to be titled in the name of the series so that when they sue the owner is the series, not the overall LLC. And you get that separation of liability. Now, again, my last example also kind of is a way I worked around that problem of accounts. And it's this. And this is my preference for those of my clients that have large numbers of rental properties. A series LLC, create a series for the different houses, but then create a completely separate property management company. There's nothing to stop you from owning your own property management company. And that property management can manage these houses as long as the ownership is the same. You don't need a real estate license. And I will sometimes have to battle the division on that one and my real estate broker friends. But you can set this up. These are property management contracts. Remember we talked about arm's length? Okay? This property management company will sign a contract with each series individually. 3 separate contracts. The contract will name House 1, a series of My Series LLC, as the owner, and it will hire my management company to manage the property. What does this do? This is all your accounting, just like any other property management company. A property management company, we know, is allowed to have one escrow account for all of their clients, as long as they maintain separate books. Because that's how every property management company in the state does it. So you're allowed to do that too. So if you're worried, my clients that are worried about that bank account thing, we just set this up. This does, and the nice thing is, Because if you don't have this and you use a series, or this structure, every lease agreement has to be in the right name, right? That was our first thing that we said earlier tonight, is make sure that the landlord is the correct entity. But here, who's the landlord? Management company. So one LLC does all of your leases. Your tenants write a check to the same name, the same bank account. This property management company is the only checkbook you have, the only credit card you have, and it hires all the contractors and handyman, etc. So everything, all the mess is contained in here. It also has the added benefit of taking on liability, right? Property managers run liability because they're the ones that are responsible for fixing things. And if you don't fix something on time, that's when you're liable, right? And so this runs a lot of liability, but what assets does it hold? Nothing. So who cares if it gets sued? Yeah.
So you're saying by the management company, you can get around the division regulations, and then my other
As
question-
long as you are common ownership, that you're the owner of this, you're one of the owners of this LLC, so you own these properties, and you're the owner of this, then you're managing your own properties.
So the owners have to match up equally with the same percentage of ownership, or?
I wouldn't argue the same percentage of ownership as long as there was common ownership and the ownership wasn't designed to avoid paying a commission. That's a bad thing. There are cases where the property owner, the LLC that owned the property, would give ownership to somebody to sell those assets and pay them some salary rather than hiring a real estate agent and paying commissions because it saved them money. And the only reason they gave that person ownership was to get around the licensing. That's bad. Don't do that. Okay? But if this is you set up for your asset protection purposes, and this is your company and that's your company, and you're still managing the properties that you could have managed otherwise, I'm okay with that.
As a management company, would you have to have your own liability insurance then?
I would.
For that company?
Huh?
A separate policy as an entity that?
Yep.
Okay.
So how many liability policies would we be talking about in this scenario?
This is one. Get a good agent that understands series LLCs. But this is probably the one policy with an endorsement for each series, so that all of these are covered under one policy. And make sure that your agent knows that. And then this would be completely separate.
So, and then you could also run that with just a regular LC, multiple LCs, or would you not recommend that? Rather than the series.
Doing it this way, and then having a property manager do this, this, and this?
Correct.
Yes, absolutely. I have clients that do that too. Yeah. I have a lot of clients that are really kind of shaky on that series thing, and that's fine. Again, everything is custom tailored to my clients, their risk averseness, their needs, what they're comfortable with. Because the more they're comfortable, the more they'll do it right. Oh, I meant to send this around. I'm going to send around, hopefully you'll stick around just a few minutes and I'll keep talking and answering questions. I do a lot of education, as I said. I actually have an advanced asset protection class on March 15th. I'm doing it in the morning down in Orem and in the afternoon in Salt Lake City at the City Library. And it is 2 hours plus a half hour of Q&A afterwards. I'm going to give you 12 different arrangements, and we're going to talk more in detail than I was able to do tonight. So tonight was a great primer, but we'll spend 2 hours talking all the different things, more with the trusts, more different arrangements. And if you sign up here, all I need is your name, email, and phone number. I will send you a free pamphlet on asset protection LLCs. I will give you free access to over 10 hours of former education courses that I've done in the last year that you can access through the website. So you can sit for 10 hours and learn more about liability, more about wholesaling LLCs. I did a webinar on the Dodd-Frank Act, which may not affect all of you, but if you've been curious about Dodd-Frank, there's a webinar on that. There's tons of really great information. Partnering in real estate. I did a 2-hour class last year on how to partner in different arrangements in real estate. That video of that class is available. So I'll get you that for free. The registration for the advanced asset protection class is $50 if you go online to my website, which is mylawyerjeff.com. And you can register there for $50, but if you check a box here, give me your name, email, and phone number, and check the box, I will send you an invoice for $30 for the asset protection class, and knock that 40% off just by checking that box tonight. So I'm going to send that around. I'm happy. It's 8 o'clock, so we're done. Don't want to hold you captive, but I'm happy to answer questions. If you don't want to wait to sign that, give me your business card. I can take that too, and just, you know, if you give me your business card, just tell me the same time that you want to get in the asset protection class. Again, it's March 15th, so that's 2 weeks from Saturday. 9:30 a.m. in Orem at the Hampton Inn and Suites, which is right off the Highway and University Parkway. 2:30 in the afternoon at the main city library on 4th South, so downtown Salt Lake. 2 hours of class, a half hour of Q&A. And then I'm going to dinner and lunch after each of them, and anyone who wants to go to dinner and lunch with me can continue asking me questions, because you put food in me, and I'll say anything you want. So,
How much is the class?
the class, it's 30, if you give me some, it's 30 tonight. If you go online, you can go online at any time, and it's $50 registration through the website. So, yeah. Oh, and my next webinar, I do free webinars every month on the first Wednesday of the month. The next Wednesday is March 5th, so next week we're going to do basic contracting in the Utah REPC. All you got to do is go to the website, mylawyerjeff.com, hit the free webinar tab, and it'll give you a link to register for this webinar. And then the workshop on March 15th, Advanced Asset Protection. This is from last night when I spoke in Orem. So, but there's one in Orem in the morning, one in Salt Lake in the afternoon. Thanks.
You're a real estate agent, or was he trying to continue with education, Brian?
This one is not. I
Felt like you
do
wanted
continue education courses. I had one in January. I'll probably do another one in December. Yes, I very often do CE classes. Yes, sir. No, not to set up the LLCs.
Oh, he did? Oh.